Just lift those hands and just lift your hands. Come on, sing it with me. I know I can. Oh, I know that I can. Bless your name, Jesus. I know. I know that I can stand. No matter what may come my way. No matter what may come my way. My life. My life is in. Oh, hallelujah. With Jesus I can take it. Jesus I really love you, Jesus. With him. With him I know. No matter what may come my way. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. My life is in your hands. Listen. So when your tests and trials, they seem to get you down. They seem to get you down. And all your friends and loved ones. And all your friends and loved ones. They're nowhere to be found. Are nowhere to. Remember, there is a friend. Remember, there's a friend in Jesus. Oh, I love him. Who will wipe your tears away. I know he will. And if your heart is broken, this is all you have to do. Just lift your hands. Oh, come on and worship with me. Say it, come on. Oh, I know that I can. Don't you give up. I know that hang on, joy is coming, I know it is. No matter what may come my way. Jesus, my life. My life is in. Hallelujah, hallelujah. With him, I know I can take it. Jesus, hey, thank you, Jesus. With him, I know. With him, I know. I feel like having some church in here. No matter what. Yeah. Jesus, my life is in. My life is in. Every person that's going through, lift your hands and say it with me. I know I can. I know that I can. Hallelujah. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. Jesus, my life is in. Oh, I love you so much, Jesus. With you, I know I can. Oh, bless your name, Jesus. No matter what may come my way. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on and say it with me. I know that I know you can make it. I know you can. No matter what may come my way. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah.
But I'm not broken. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am informed that the link for this afternoon's function is Mystic 5 Multimedia Service. So if you were to go on YouTube, put in Mystic 5 Multimedia Services, then you can see that we are all live around the world. Mystic 5 Multimedia Services. Thank you very much.
Never said I wouldn't fall. Never said that everything would go the way I wanted to go. But when my back is against the wall and I feel all hope is gone, I'll just lift my head up to the sky and say, help me to be strong. Oh, I just can't give up now. Come too far from where I started from. Oh, nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm asking that we come forward and, make sure the front is full, because the rest of you will be behind the camera. So we want everybody up front to make sure that the camera is behind you to the extent that we can. So those who are to the back, I'm inviting you to come closer so we can take care of all the seats in the front. Thank you very much.
To be lost in the middle of an ocean, or have no place to lay your head, to be caught in the web of indifference, be cast aside like you're just as dead, to be forgotten like the wind of yesterday, neglected and beaten and worn. The pain that you're feeling is just as real as the ground you're standing on. But it's not over now. This is not the end. You've been tossed and beaten up. You've fallen again. I know your heart's been torn. You say there's no point in carrying on. Race is not over. No, it's not over. No. You're looked upon like the scum of society, yet they close their eyes to the strength of your pain. To be swayed by events or accomplishments, be found lacking where it's to your shame. You've been forgotten like the wind of yesterday, neglected and beaten and worn. The pain that you're feeling is just as real as the breath you take with this soul. But it's not over now. This is not the end. No, no. You've been tossed and beaten up. You've fallen again. I know your heart's been torn. You say there's no point in carrying on. Race is not over. No, no, no. It's not over. It's not over. It's not
Everything within me, I declare your glory. You are God, holy and righteous. You are God,
I'm searching, won't stop till I find you. I'm running, won't stop till I touch you. You're my destination. Lord, you're all I got. Nothing can deter me. I said I won't stop. If it's not you, then Lord, it's nothing. If it's not you, it's nothing at all. If it's not you, never need a telephone line. I'm searching, I won't stop till I find you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comrades and all. Good evening. It is now 55 minutes past the scheduled time. And we still have 2 hours. So I'm going to invite all of you to take your seat. Make sure the front chairs are taken and that you're in front of the camera. I believe all hands are on deck now. Where is Dr. Wall? Dr. Wall? Dr. Wall, come on. Tell him to come up.
Did you stop to pray?
All of those who are on the outside, please come in. All of the persons outside, please come in. Make sure you're on the inside.
Did you ask the Lord to guide you as you started onto your day? Did you think to pray this morning? Did you need just one moment to say, give me comfort for my soul on this old weekend road? Did you just remember to pray? In his words long time ago, he will come again to take all of them that are washed and made white as snow. Why did you think to pray this morning? Did you need just one moment to say, this is what I felt? Give me comfort for my soul on this old weekend road. Did you just remember to pray? My soul on this old wicked road. Did you just remember to pray?
We are about to start. For those of you who do not have an agenda, I am going to invite you to stand and we are going to sing the national anthem. To start, I am not a singer, I don't want to spoil the anthem. So if there is someone who can help me with that, I will invite you to the podium to lead on with the national anthem. Please, comrades, stand up. Without most respect.
Remember, our anthem is a prayer, and so we ask us to be at attention for the national anthem. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defender, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us through respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to cherish. Give us vision lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love.
I will just ask Justice Coley to lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you, Jesus. Bless the Lord. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's a good feeling to be here this afternoon. It's Sunday evening, and we could have been otherwise minded, right? But we are here on the people's business. I want to take this opportunity to thank Councillor Kurt Wall for the invitation to offer prayer at this very important gathering. I'm indeed humbled to be in your esteemed presence and for your individual participation in whatever capacity this afternoon. We know that at the heart of a successful meeting is the acknowledgement of the ever-divine presence of Almighty God, taking a front seat and guiding our deliberations. Can I get an amen for that? In the book of Psalms 127 and verse 1, it reads thus: except the Lord build a house, they labor in vain that build it. And except the Lord keep the city, the watchman watcheth in vain. Putting things into context, if we are working without God's approval, we are wasting our time. It's useless to put in all the work with all the preparation and no benefit to self or to others. Amen? Let's all commit to working together for one common goal. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we ask for your wisdom as we begin this town hall meeting this afternoon. We acknowledge that we need your insights and we welcome your presence among us. Guide us in our discussions and decisions, in helping us to seek out what is best for all involved this afternoon. We trust in your perfect wisdom and ask that you will grant us the stamp of approval in accordance to your will. We pray for continued unity among your people here gathered and those tuning in the different social media platforms this afternoon. Help us collectively to put aside all personal agendas and differences and work together towards a common goal. We know that with your divine guidance and grace, we can achieve a sense of unity that will further propel us to make impactful decisions for the benefit of all. Lord, help us to listen to each other respectfully, attentively, and not to be judgmental, but rather try to understand the differences and perspectives and the spirit of discernment to make the best decision for all the greater good. We pray that any disagreements, any conflicts that may arise, Lord, will be resolved peacefully, always seeking to find a common ground. May we continue to trust your peace model, Almighty God, because you are the author of peace. Your plans to perfect us and not to harm us. We pray for total blood coverage over our country. Those who lead, that they will copy your model and lead your people into righteousness. And finally, Father, help us to exercise our faith, knowing you are working out everything for our good. Amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you very much, Justice. I don't know that I really need an introduction, but for the formality, I am Kesmiller. This evening, I will not wear a political hat. I am the moderator. But it is difficult when I look around and see so much orange to stay in the center. I'd like to take the opportunity to welcome all PNP, NOP, JLP, civil society, person, everyone is welcome to this meeting because it is a town hall meeting for everyone to express their concerns so that those you hope to elect can bear these things in mind when they are elected to represent you. I will say also that this gathering is very historic. It's an historic gathering. I have never known a candidate and his team to have arranged a town hall meeting before in Southwest St. Catherine. And to see that it is so well attended and the distribution of members are from all 4 divisions. So I expect you to say what you have to say. It will be recorded. It will be taken down and necessarily used in your favor. So say what you have to say. Because if you don't say it, no one will say it for you. So it is my pleasure to be the moderator for this function. I welcome those who are on YouTube, and I suspect that audience will be very wide. You can pose your questions in the live chat, and those questions will be channeled to me, or you will hear them through the system, the responses that will come to those questions. The format of the meeting is that we will hear from the 3 council candidates representing the 3 divisions, and of course your councillor for Old Harbour South, who will also be representing you in the general election, will be the keynote presenter. So on this beautiful, warm and glorious Sunday afternoon, in Old Harbour Primary School, a product, an institution, a physical plant, which when the history is written, the name Roddy Lawson, Honorable Roddy Lawson, should be remembered by this school for what he went through and the vision to realize that where the school was could not carry the size of this community. For tooth and nail, street and corner, to get the school relocated to the site where we are now. Give him thanks in his absence. May his soul rest in peace and light perpetual shines upon him. His name will live on in this community. So, I've done my part, and I'm now going to move to introducing the speakers who will speak for 3 to 5 minutes, because we're running a very tight schedule, very tight shift. So I'm going to call upon O'Brien Layton, who is the councillor candidate for Central, Harbour Central, yes, who will now give his views as to where we'd want to take us going forward. My comrade, please come.
Whoa, 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 sailing, sailing. First, let me say good afternoon to those online and those who join us physically here at the esteemed Old Harbour Primary School. My name is O'Brien Layton. I'm the PMP Councillor Caretaker employed for those activities. And even if you're from the Jamaica Labour Party, it must be said that you're still sidelined even after supporting that party in the local government elections. On my political walks, debushing becomes a big issue. There is no way taxpayers, and I'll name specifically Old Harbour Glades and Mews, can continue to pay their taxes within this nation, and they have to wait until elections or Christmas period to have debushing done. There is no way constituents of Southwest St. Catherine can continue to pay their property taxes. And I can tell you, because I was in the tax system, that places like Mews are underserved by our elected representatives. They should have a recreational park in Old Harbour Mews. There's no way they can have such a high percentage of paying their property taxes, and there's no safe space for the children to play. Just recently, in all my 35 years on God's earth, I've never seen a water problem in Old Harbour Central Division. And places like Burke Road, Claremont Drive, North Street, Africa, Rowan Park have been faced with water issues. And I tell you, the NWC, I must say, your pronouncement to the people is insufficient. My recommendation is, meet them at their doorsteps and have the conversations, because water is life, and we never had a problem in Old Harbour Central as it relates to water. And no way, under my leadership and advocacy, will water continue to be an issue in the heart and beat of Southwest St. Catherine. I thank you. Whoa.
I have told you already, I have taken off my political cap this evening, so I will stay straight down the line. Thank you very much, Comrade O'Brien, to highlight the meeting as to where you stand and what you will offer when you get elected. Now, I will move to the next councillor candidate. I know he has a lot to say. I know. because those on the other side have said things with respect to his division, which I believe is now worldwide known because it's on the YouTube. I am going to invite my friend Adrian Samuda from Old Harbour North to make his 5 minutes intervention. Thank you very much.
Whoa, 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 sailing, sailing. Say when I'm ready, you must hold on steady. We're moving off at lighting.
All protocols observed. Good evening. Good evening to the YouTube watchers and everyone from the diaspora who are watching today. And it's open for a change in Southwestern Catherine. Good evening to all of you. Good evening, Comrade Mikhail. The current MP has been in power for 23 years and counting by the day. He's seeking to be re-elected for another 5 years. I did a research and realized that the current MP is 73 years old. That makes it, if he's going to be 78 if re-elected. The Bible says, young man, I call you when you are strong. The Bible says, young man, I call you when you are strong. Many of the issues that we face in Old Harbour North Division surpasses 20 years and counting. I come here today to focus on the main priorities that are facing my people in Old Harbour North Division. And when we walk, when we listen to the people, I feel it also because I live in Davis community. Water is the main cry. The lack of water in the division is spanning for 20 years and counting. And if the current MP, Everett Wilmington, have not created a solution for over 20 years, the question is, will he do it in another 5 years? I doubt it. The water problem in Old Harbour North Division is affecting farming. Many of the pig farmers run out of business because it is expensive to maintain pig farming by purchasing water. Chicken farmers are barely surviving because they have to be purchasing water to feed chicken. And you and I know chicken drink a lot of water. In Old Harbour North, we have some beautiful houses. Davis, Bartons, Red Ground, Colbeck, Boys Content, Planters. I don't want to leave out any. I don't know if Avery is facing water problem. No. We have some beautiful houses, and many of those houses have never experienced, persons in houses have never experienced bathing under a shower. It is wickedness. Young people in Old Harbour North Division are migrating. The more achieved ones, especially, are migrating to other communities rather than staying in their community to build it. They're leaving because they can't manage the water problem, and I do understand. In our communities in Old Harbour North, and I can call a few names, Davis, Bamburidge, Ruletown, those community roads are in deplorable conditions. And especially if they're labeled as PNP stronghold. The current MP not even look upon them roads there, and it is something that needs to address. As an MP, represent everyone, not just some people. Curfews, and I know Kurt Wall, when Kurt Wall becomes the next MP, these issues he will address. I know Kurt Wall. One thing I admire about Dr. Kurt Wall, let me put the doctor to his name. One thing I admire about Dr. Kurt Wall is very unbiased. And you can ask people to do a survey. If you go to his doctor office, if you are a labor right, your bumper get cut. If you are a no. And that gives me confidence that when Dr. Kurt Wall becomes the next MP, even labor right community roads will be fixed. Curfews, I must address this curfew issue, which is depriving our people in Olawa North from earning an income. Olawa North is a community that is comprised of a lot of people who benefit of informal income. Income coming from things like round robin and parties. Just last night, I was at a little round robin. 11:45, police came locking down the round robin. It is unfair to the people. Now, Dr. Kurt Wall and myself have had many conversations, and I can give my people in Olawa North the surety that when Dr. Wall becomes the next MP, this curfew thing is something that we will address because it is affecting people. In the business community, we have to be closing down early. I have confidence in our next MP, Dr. Kurt Wall, and I'm saying in closing, I am saying to the people within my division, young man, I call you when you're strong. Give the young man a chance. Thank you very much.
Big ships sailing on the ocean. We don't need no commotion. Big ships sailing on the ocean. Oh,
Comrades, I'm getting very hot under the collar. I'm getting very hot. But I still have to keep my cool because I am the moderator. I am the moderator. Thank you very much, Comrade Samuda, for your intervention. And in the divisions, all 4 divisions, we have only one female, one bunununus among us. Pretty, beautiful, intelligent, bright, and ready to take on the work of the People's National.
here I come again, Jaja. Before your presence we singing. Lord, watch over our shoulders tonight and help us live our words tomorrow. Let's not forget where we're from. Father, show us the way to go. You said I must love and feed my enemies.
Remember, please remember, this is not a political rally. It is a town hall meeting. Just remember that. So I'm going to call upon the candidate for Church Pen to present to you her plans and her problem and her thoughts for Church Pen. I give the microphone to this Bununus. Come here.
Thank you very much. All the protocols observed. To those of you who are there. But I know it won't be long before we solve all of them, because we have a new member of parliament that's going to take over, that's going to come in, none other than Dr. Kurt Wall. First, we're going to look at, there are two big issues down there. We're looking at the bridges. We have the Spring Village Bridge, and they promise us year after year after year after year they're going to fix it. Still haven't been fixed. But I have faith that when our next member of parliament gets in, it's going to be fixed, right? Yes, sir. Not only one bridge, we have another one. Bushy Park. The people of Bushy Park have suffered enough. They have to travel around and around and around and around just to get into the Old Harbour area or gutters. And they're not walking. They have to be paying, $1,000 when they used to pay $150. They're now paying $1,000 just from Bushy Park. Round trip is $500 each way, and that's not good. So we're looking for that, Comrade Wall. When you get in, make sure the Church Pen division We are there. We need those bridges in Spring Village, and we need the one for Bushy Park. Another problem we're having down there is the collection of garbage. We're tired, and it's not only churchmen. We could see it right across the Southwest Constituency. Trash, 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 trash. Labourite yard, PNP yard, everywhere. Trash, trash, trash. Just recently, somebody referred to us as dogs running behind cars. I guess dogs follow trash, so we can't do no better. All right? So we're asking, please, that we have regular pickup of garbage, because flies and all kind of stuff comes with garbage. And for me, I'm a beautiful woman, so I like beautiful things. And I like my environment to look beautiful. Never two. We have 2 communities in the Churchman division that we need to look at, Lloydspen and Bushy Park. These are farming communities. Down there, dry, drought. If you don't have water, you can plant the crop, but they're going to die within a day or 2. So we need water, and we need it to cross our division. And this is my main problem now, Dr. Wall. Minimum wage is $16,000. How are you going to put a $16,000, right, for minimum wage? Didn't reach yet. One more. All right, June 1st, I think, yes. All right, we're not sure, so let's say $15,000, because people lie, you know. So let's say $15,000. How can you have a minimum wage of $15,000 when you're going to put a $40 million housing scheme in my division? Who is going to afford that? You're building some little matches boxes, and they're going at 38 upward million. You're not building it for people in my division. You're building it for outsiders to come in. They will purchase those houses. You're building those houses for the rich, and the rich will buy, and then they'll rent it back to the poor. NHT was not set up that way. It was originally set up under the leadership, of course, of our great leader. May his soul rest in peace. Michael, the great Michael Manley. Somebody trying to sabotage me? Oh. Don't let me get more than... Mr. Moderator, put on another minute because somebody stopped the mic. Yes, sir. So, $40 million. $16,000 for minimum wage, or $15 right now. We cannot afford that. You're building it for your friends. You're building it for outsiders so they could buy. Let's not talk about the Chinese today. My name is Natalie Ho. So we need to look at that. And then also by Techford, where they're building up all these holy funeral thing and burial and all kind of stuff. And we have a funeral parlor now down there. That was originally a farming land. We need part of that land for farming. You can't put too much dead body down there. Please, sir, you need to stop, whoever is doing it. We need to create employment in our communities. And the funeral home don't hire so much people. Let's go to farming. We must plant what we eat. Yes. So our solution is none other than Dr. Kurt Wall. And I guarantee you, when he gets in, we will have a bridge in the Churchman division. We'll make sure there's multi-million-dollar homes. I mean, scale it down where we can pay our mortgage. We're tired of paying rents. We're tired of catching up people's house. We're tired of fear beg. We want to own something, and that was the original plan for the NHT. So thank you very much, and we'll have further discussion later down in the program. Thank you.
Here I come again, Jaja. Before your presence we singing. Yeah. Lord, watch over our shoulders tonight and help us live our words tomorrow. Let's not forget where we're from. Father, show us the way to go. You said I must love and feed my enemies, and I'm gonna do it. You said I shouldn't hate or grudge, and I won't, not even for a minute.
Members present, comrades, no P, all P, civic group, parson, preacher man, beggar man, everybody. We have in our presence here this afternoon a future minister of government. We have in our presence here the son of a former leader of the People's National Party. We have in our presence here a comrade who has never lost his seat. A comrade who is now a vice president of the great and noble People's National Party. You know, somewhere along the line, I suspect I would have strayed. Forgive me. Forgive me. You know, when you're batting, you know, sometime a ball pass on the outside, they have something, you just knock it to the boundary. I am going to introduce to you Comrade Michael Phillips, Vice President of the People's National Party, a future Minister of Works, So we're talking about roads. We're talking about the things that will make a difference in our lives. I'm going to invite to the podium Member of Parliament, Vice President, and a future Minister of Government to give you his intervention. Comrade.
Days when people from the east side could go out on the west side and live in peace. Remember the times we could party till the sun.
You know, I knew Kesty when he was younger, had hair, and before he was referred to as Dr. Kesty Miller, my good friend. It's good to see you. Let me recognize your next Member of Parliament. A long-time friend of mine too. Before he even thought about politics. Let me recognize your councillor candidates. Comrade Natalie Ho, Comrade O'Brien Layton, and my friend Comrade Adrian Samuda. And to all the comrades in the audience, and even those who are not comrades. No. But who has an interest in seeing the People's National Party come to government. It is lonely for me in Manchester as the only Member of Parliament. And I can say that we are already in Manchester for whenever the Prime Minister call it. And people keep asking, why doesn't he call it? Well, if he thought that he could win, he would have called it. And because he realized that him not going to win, he's trying to delay it. But them say when fire there must steal. Them think a cool breeze. Time has come. But I want to say to the comrades in the audience, it has been a long time coming, and we should not take anything for granted. The Prime Minister, nearly every time that he speaks, tries to blame others for his government's failure. He keep on talking about the PMP's 18 years in government. And I keep on saying that if you keep repeating a lie too often, it becomes the truth. But no matter how he repeats it, and trying to blame others, the truth shall set him free. We will send him on the opposition benches. Because I reminded the Prime Minister some months ago in Parliament when he was trying to blame bad road infrastructure on the PMP's years in government, trying to blame a fledgling education system and health sector on what the PMP did not do then. And because I know that we have a brighter leader, and I know that we are brighter on the PMP side, we had to remind him that 18 years of PMP then ended in 2007. And if he could not calculate in his mind, then he could have gone to his phone and get the calculator. But that 18 years ended 18 years ago. And the GLP, starting from 2007 till now, have been in power for 14 of those 18 years. So it is disingenuous of him to be trying to pinpoint and point fingers on others for his own administration failure. So he has to take the blame for why his administration could not deliver prosperity, why it is that we still cannot sleep with our windows and our doors open, why it is that we don't have a good health care system, why it is that we have a JUTC that a PMP administration sacrificed and built out that his administration has mashed it up. Why it is that our road infrastructure is as bad as it is, that not even spark and reach can reach. And why it is that after his 9 years in government, that we still have more people in poverty, that we have not transferred those schools on the shift system off the shift system. Why is it that we still have schools that have pit latrine? Why is it that we still have patients going to the hospital and having to lie down in the passageway before seeing a doctor or even getting a bed for days? And why is it that he cannot get his Integrity Commission certificate for all the years that are outstanding? So, we have accepted that there are things that we could have done differently. But we know that we have done our best, not for ourselves, but for the people of Jamaica that we represent. And that is why in the last budget presentation, we sat down prior to the party leaders' presentation and Julian Robinson. And their presentations, I would give them an A+. But for a 6-hour presentation by the Prime Minister, he lost me after 2 hours because he stood up in Parliament, cursed the PMP for 2 hours, and then spoke nothing for the other 4. And I'm not being bad-minded. But all he could pinpoint in his presentation is why the PMP plan cannot work. But I didn't hear him come with a plan of his own. That he had to come to the public recently to apologize for his own failings that his administration has not delivered to the people of Jamaica. Well, Prime Minister, if after 9 years and you have not been able to deliver, if you got another 5, you're still not going to deliver because your heart is not in the right place for the people of Jamaica. He calls himself the deliverer. But for him to now realizing that he should have chosen Jamaica from the day he was elected Prime Minister, to now realizing he needs to choose Jamaica when he's on his way out of Jamaica House is really a bad thing for a man who calls himself Prime Minister. And that's why we always say, put people first. It's because we believe in the people of Jamaica. Be it that you support PMP or you don't support PMP, we believe in the people of Jamaica. So, in our budget presentation, we presented the 4 E's: efficiency, education and training, energy, the emerging industries, which is the diversification of the economy. Because we recognize that what Comrade Portia Simpson Miller did and Comrade Dr. Peter Phillips as finance minister did in bringing the economy to where it was in 2016, we cannot allow it to go back to where it was coming from. If anyone will protect the economy, it is going to be the People's National Party. So when we talk about efficiency, it is about how we're going to streamline our government processes to improve productivity and competitiveness. I always say that government is its own worst enemy. There are things that government can do differently. The first thing is that government consider you a criminal before you start doing business with government. So it makes it so hard. And if government is not efficient enough, then we will not produce enough to grow the economy. And let me use an example. For about 4 years now, the Prime Minister spoke about lifting the threshold for direct contracting. So the National Works Agency, if a contract is over $2 million, they will have to go to tender. Now, as a councillor will know, 140-ton load, which is 1 truckload, to buy that and to lay that out on the roadway is $2 million. So if we want to get road works done efficiently and effectively, then we have to reconsider in lifting the threshold. The PMP will do it. The Prime Minister has only spoken about it. Because we recognize that if we don't have an efficient government, then the country cannot grow in the way that it needs to grow. And don't get me wrong, there has to be accountability. There has to be accountability. But accountability doesn't mean that you have to be inefficient. And the People's National Party is committed to ensuring that we have an efficient government service to be able to build our economy. Reform outdated bureaucratic systems that would hinder business growth We commit to establishing a task force to remove or amend laws and regulations that will slow down productivity. Prime Minister only speak about it. We will do it. Focus on reducing delays, frustration, and additional costs caused by inefficiencies. The second E is education. The government committed a task force. And after 3 years after that report has been tabled, we only hear about press conferences, but they have not told us on all that, those numbers of hundreds of recommendations, how many of them has been initiated and how many of them have made a difference to the education system. And we recognize that for us to have a thriving society, education has to be a main pillar of a People's National Party administration. And the first thing is investing in early childhood education. We have been hearing that over and over and over again. No matter how much you certify the basic schools, if you don't give them more resources, if our basic school teachers don't earn more money, if you don't give them schools that are conducive for learning, then the challenges that we face in the primary and the secondary education system will not change. And a People's National Party administration is committed to start at the bottom, which is early childhood, and then build it going from primary to secondary to tertiary. So while we will be investing in early childhood and primary education to ensure all children can read, write, and do basic math by secondary school, that is a commitment of your People's National Party. We are going to expand the school feeding program, where only part students now get a meal. We are saying that every student entering a school education system, a government-run education institution, will get a meal every day once PMP is in power. We're going to introduce a transportation subsidy for students in rural areas to improve access to education, strengthen civics education, and integrate Marcus Garvey teachings in the curriculum to promote self-belief and responsibility, and provide scholarships for tertiary education, ensuring 1 university degree per family. That is a major plank of the People's National Party. But if we're going to build the education system, we also have to look after our teachers. Because for too often, we expect the teachers to deliver when the teachers are also suffering out there under our education system that is not complementary for them. So we are going to look at how it is. 1 second, sorry dear. Lose my notes. So we are going to look at, for our teachers, we're going to ensure that teachers receive student debt reductions and motor vehicle concessions at levels that increase with their years of service in the teaching profession. Ensure that teachers benefit from enhanced access to NHT loans and are given priority in housing allocations. That is something that the GLP removed from our teachers. We are going to ensure that they get it back. Remove all taxes on laptops and tablets for students and teachers. We have been asking for it from COVID time, and we have not gotten it. A PMP government will make sure that we remove all those taxes. And we are going to negotiate package deals to provide teachers with free internet service as a tool of their trade to ensure that they are not burdened with that additional cost, but as something to encourage them that their students' education should be first and foremost. And we will ensure to assist our teachers with that. The fourth is energy. Because if we don't manage our energy costs, no matter how we're talking about growth, we will not see the level of growth that Jamaica needs to see. Sustainable and affordable energy solution for economic growth. The JLP government, after 9 years, has not signed one new agreement to introduce any new players where renewable energy is concerned. The last solar plant that was built, the windmills that we have out in Wigton, the ones up at Malvern, all of those came and was introduced under PMP administration. And we recognize that if we are to lower the energy costs, we have to transition into renewable energy sources like solar to reduce the dependency on imported fuels. Achieve the renewable energy target of 33% by 2030. That was promised for a long time. We're off track and we are committed to bring it back on track. 33% renewable by 2030 through regular requests for proposals of interest. Reducing electricity costs by addressing non-technical losses and promoting lawful connections. Comrade Philip Paulwell even gave the government an idea. For those communities that we have an issue with electricity theft, is why that we propose that government should subsidize solar. Subsidize the cost of the batteries and the panels so that persons can stop stealing electricity. In many instances, not because they want to steal it, it's because they can't afford it. It was under the PMP administration that we roll out a large house wiring project subsidized to the householders. We had a rural electrification system that was bringing electricity in many communities that did not have. And then what? You had people under the watchful eyes of a JLP administration who was stealing from the same program, that they had no choice but to lock it down. And from them lock it down, I can tell you as Member of Parliament, I have not seen one rural electrification program since 2016. And it is not because I don't want it, it's because I don't know who to go to, because there is no program. You hear that it moved to the Ministry of Local Government, then you hear say it moved back to the Ministry of Energy, then you hear that it is at JSIF, but you have to write to that minister. And that is the bureaucracy that we're talking about. That you make it so bureaucratic that even the government themselves not even remember which ministry or agency that rural electrification falls under. And we are saying that it needs to go back to the Ministry of Energy. And we are going to find creative ways in reducing energy loss. Our intention is not to lock up people, but to ensure that they can follow the rule of law with government assistance. And we have to improve climate resilience in the energy sector. The fifth E is the emerging industries, diversifying the economy through innovation and high growth sectors, focusing on industries like technology, green energy, and creative sectors to drive economic growth. Provide incentives for startups and entrepreneurs in emerging industries. Every year, the DBJ, the Prime Minister, comes to Parliament and he announces a $5 billion pool of funds for small and medium-sized businesses. And every year at the end of the financial year, 3/4 of that money goes back to the DBJ. We keep recognizing that small and medium-sized enterprises will be the growth engine of any economy. And we are committed, the PMP is committed, that we have to find and refashion the way that these monies get to the small and medium-sized businesses. Because if you keep on doing things the same way and expecting a different result, then you will end up like the Jamaica Labour Party government, where the people want to now vote you out of power. So we are committing to finding new and innovative ways in ensuring that we help startups and small and medium-sized businesses that they can access the resources that is promised to them by the government. Foster collaboration between academia, industry, and government to drive research and development. Create opportunities for Jamaicans to participate in high-value industries that offer better paying jobs and get us out of this cycle of low-tech, low-paying jobs and increasing the value of every Jamaican who gets a job, that he can get a better salary with high-tech jobs. Crime and citizen security is going to be important to the growth of Jamaica. A balanced approach to reducing crime and addressing its root cause. Focusing on targeted policing strategies rather than ineffective states of emergencies. Addressing root cause of crime such as poverty, unemployment, and the lack of education. Investing in social transformation program to support at-risk youth and reduce violence. And we have to recognize the reduction in the murder numbers. But as I said at a church service this morning, they keep saying that Jamaica has more churches per square mile than anywhere else. But yet still we have one of the highest murder rates in the world. Then something wrong. And we recognize that we have to bring God in the midst of everything. Amen. PMP is a Christian party too, you know. We have to bring God in the midst of everything. But we have to fix our education system. And that is why the education is one of the main planks of the next PMP administration in ensuring that we can give every youth who enter school a real chance in succeeding in life. and that is through education. Land and housing is also a main plank. Affordable housing as a basic socio-economic right to every Jamaican. The first thing is that we're going to stop the annual extraction of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to fund the budget. We have to grow the economy to be able to fund the budget and stop taking what should have stopped 9 years ago. We should have stopped years ago. We are going to stop the annual extraction of $11.4 billion and allow the NHT to use that resources to build houses for poor people. There are too many Jamaicans who earn minimum wage, who contribute to the National Housing Trust. But when they want to go to get a loan, they say they are not qualified. We have to find a way in reducing the cost of the house. Because anything over 15 and 20, we have to stop NHT from building house for the upper echelons of the society. We have to hold accountable those who government entrust NHT money to and giving them lands to build houses, that a percentage of those houses have to go to your public sector workers, your teachers, your police. Not the small percentage what I'm talking about. But to ensure that we have contractors also that is willing to build houses at the cost that a minimum wage earner can afford. Otherwise, we will have not delivered on what the National Housing Trust was created for, which is to provide housing for the Jamaican people, no matter where you stand, at the top or the bottom. We're going to build 50,000 affordable housing units over the next 5 years through the National Housing Agency of Jamaica. Introduce a rent-to-own program to help informal workers and low-income earners to access housing. You remember when I said that we have seen, we have thought of it. We never just come and present in Parliament because we recognize that things cannot come. Say I'm going to give more land to private developers. And at the end of it, those who want a house still can't get no house. And that is why we recognize that the rent-to-own program is a program that can get houses to those Jamaicans who would not normally qualify for an NHT loan. Establish a young owners deposit fund of $1 billion within the NHT, enabling young persons under 35 to access $500,000 towards their deposit for 2 years of NHT contribution, after 2 years of NHT contribution. There's nothing more proud for any Jamaican man or woman. Eh? But if you look at it, we have now created a society that a man feel more proud to own a car than a house. And it is because we have made it so hard for him to own that house that owning a car has replaced owning a house. Time come for us to make him feel better and give him the access to own that house, and then the car can come after. We are going to complete unfinished Operation Pride projects and improve the infrastructure in informal settlement. The government of development, who is the Prime Minister? Who are the people that live there? Agriculture and food security. Strengthening local food production to reduce dependency on imports. We are going to provide financial support to farmers through an agricultural development fund funded by reallocating 1% of food import taxes, which is approximately $2.5 billion annually, because we recognize that agriculture is going to have to be one of those main drivers to grow our economy. The other people talk about it. We are going to do it. We're going to improve irrigation system and reduce post-harvesting losses to increase productivity. We are committing to reduce the food import bill by 25% over 5 years by bolstering local production. That will happen under PMP administration. We're going to establish special economic zones for agriculture to focus on export-led production. Comrades, we could talk about the healthcare. But if it is one area, although they have failed in many others, is that the Jamaica Labour Party has failed the Jamaican people in delivering a decent healthcare system. And we have to make it accessible and affordable for all Jamaicans. Shift focus from mega infrastructure projects to improving primary care and service delivery. That's the first thing. If you can't access, because now when I go to Mile Gully in my own constituency, a doctor only come there 1 or 2 days a week. We have to ensure that each health center is manned 5 days a week by a doctor, so you don't have to run to the hospital. You can go to your health center first. We're going to provide incentives for healthcare workers, including advanced training and housing provisions, prioritize preventative maintenance of medical equipment to ensure functionality. And when we get into government, we definitely have to get a team together to sort of study the head of the current Minister of Health. Because I have never seen someone who has failed so badly and still beating him chest that he has succeeded. Succeeded at what? Because if he has not heard the cry of the Jamaican people, then he is tone deaf. And we are saying that a better health care is one that we have to deliver to the people of Jamaica. But we also have to create better opportunities, creating pathway for upward mobility and prosperity. expanding job creation programs in both urban and rural Jamaica. And as a rural MP, I always remind the Prime Minister, say, Jamaica is not Kingston. Jamaica is not Kingston. Most of Jamaicans live outside of Kingston and Portmore. We are country people. And we drive the economy through agriculture. We drive the economy through tourism. So we need some attention too. So we are going to ensure that there are expanded job creation programs in both urban and rural areas, support small and medium-sized enterprises as engines of economic growth, provide mentorship and networking opportunities for young professionals, and ensure equal opportunity for women, minorities, and marginalized groups, and focus on creating better paying jobs in high value industries. Comrades, I could go on and on. We could go on and on. But if it is one thing that I can say, is that the PMP is ready to become government. But I want to also warn you that when Dr. Wall becomes Member of Parliament, temper your expectations. I know that a lot has not happened since this man has been Member of Parliament, but he will not be able to deliver everything in 1 year or 2 years. And I know Dr. Wall will be an excellent Member of Parliament. The PMP chose Jamaica from 1938, when the PMP was formed. We don't have to choose Jamaica now. We know what our track record has been, from Norman Manley to Michael Manley, from Michael Manley to P.J. Patterson, from P.J. Patterson to Portia and Peter. And we know what our track record will be when Mark Golding becomes Prime Minister of Jamaica.
This valley of death.
We still cannot believe the Prime Minister when he speaks on constitutional reform. We still cannot believe him when he speaks on education. We still can't believe him when he speaks on healthcare, development, infrastructure. We can't believe him when he speaks about the economy. And we certainly can't believe him when he speaks on corruption. People of Southwest St. Catherine. People of Southwest St. Catherine. Big up on yourselves. Good evening, residents of Southwest St. Catherine. Welcome, one and all. Good to have you here with me today. I want to thank my divisional chairmen for their participation, Adrian Samuda, Natalie Ho, O'Brien Layton. A big, big thank you to Michael Phillips, shadow spokesman on transport and mining, vice president of the People's National Party. He came here with just 1 week's notice when he had other things to do, and I just want to big him up. And he has to leave now. So, any questions in terms of the national issues of the People's National Party, I will address them.
And then the other questions can also be taken by the divisional leaders. So thank you again, Mikhail.
Hard bowling. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. The people them ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Whoa! Look at the people raising up.
People of Southwest St. Catherine, in all my years of living in Southwest St. Catherine, I don't think the residents have ever had the opportunity of participating in a town hall meeting of such a nature. And because it's my first town hall meeting here in Southwest St. Catherine, and I'm not a biased person, I'm going to say it's the best one I've ever attended.
Everybody know what's in your now. Hey, upset. See how upset, huh?
Comrades, so I've never had the opportunity in Southwest St. Catherine, and I don't think anyone here has ever had that opportunity to come and sit down with the leaders of the community and discuss the issues that we have to move this constituency forward. I believe that all of us here today, we're all in this thing together. So if we want to let this thing work out, we all have to participate. We all have to pull our weight. And we all have to do what is necessary to get this constituency going and let it be the best constituency there is in Jamaica. The plans I will outline was worked out after extensive communication with all the civic leaders within the constituency. It was worked out after discussion with all the people and all the works that we have done. And it was also worked out based on empirical data that we gathered by going out into the field and asking people what they believe were the things that they need done within the constituency. And what we have found will surprise us a lot. And some of them aren't so surprising because the people have been complaining of these issues for many years. So the number one issue on the agenda, what we found out was plaguing the people, was a lack of access to running water and water shortage in a number of communities in Southwest St. Catherine. The bulk of these communities are to the north of us. And Adrian Samoud, I outlined these communities. We're talking about communities like Bannister. We're talking about Bartons. We're talking about Planters Hall. We're talking about Boys Content. And throughout my walks, I was surprised to know that there are even areas in Spring Village. Can you imagine that Spring Village? There are places in Spring Village that don't have water. When you talk about places in Thetford, we are committing to the people of Southwest St. Catherine that within 2 years, we will bring back running water to your pipes. We have identified water sources from rivers within the constituency, and we will work assiduously with the Water Commission and the Ministry of Water to ensure that water is delivered in a timely fashion. I will dedicate a secretary within my office whose job is just to follow up to ensure that all the timelines are met and that the suffering of the people of Southwest St. Catherine will come to an end shortly. What I'll also guarantee and commit is that we'll use a portion of the Constituency Development Fund and we'll take this money to provide a water truck to the people of Southwest St. Catherine. So during those 2 years, while we are trying to work out the kinks and deliver the water to you, we will truck water to areas that are badly in need. And we'll give the water for free or at cost, depending on the circumstances of the individual. Another major issue we have identified in Southwest St. Catherine is that there are a lack of employment opportunities for the citizens and the youths. And this is a major issue. We have often heard that the national unemployment rate is just below 4%. But throughout our interactions and empirical study, we found out that the unemployment rate in Southwest St. Catherine is about 10%, which is more than twice the national average. Southwest St. Catherine is one of the largest constituencies in Jamaica. We're probably around the third or fourth largest constituency. Soya bean and the cotton polyester factories, which was a major source of employment within Southwest St. Catherine. Those things are long gone due to development of market forces. But there are the things that are coming on stream which we have not taken advantage of. If you look, there's a thriving BPO sector, a business processing outsourcing sector throughout the country. And despite the fact that we suffer from such high unemployment and we have such a large population, no one has ever invited the BPO sector to come to Southwest St. Catherine to set up shop. We also have the Marley Mount. We have a site there in Marley Mount that was abandoned by the Jehovah's Witness, and that property was sold. There are people right now in Southwest St. Catherine who want to develop that property into a BPO sector and technology center, and they are being blocked. I will ensure that when I become member of parliament, I will facilitate these people so that they can get this BPO sector in Southwest St. Catherine as soon as possible so that we can cut down on our unemployment rate.
I'm on the sun, yeah. Oh, we're winning right now.
You know, time, and it shows up in the polling data, is that this...
Comrades, members of the community, we're having a technical issue with the YouTube side of things, so we're going to hold a little for it to come back up, because we want the messages sending out to go wide and far. It's up, huh?
Hard golden, yeah. My golden ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, yeah we're ready, the people them ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready. Whoa! Look at the people raising up, the whole Jamaica waking up. Get ready for go with gold, in the man with passion and of purpose. From Kingston straight to Bay, I'm a gold in them say. Get ready to make up a new way, yo. The entire Jamaica know, golden are the best and it's true. When golden step on the road, the people are really still love. Whoa, so let me see your hands up so. Every Jamaican, put your hands up so. Time from that we know on the man set go. Golden, you're ready for the... Hey, ha. Hard golden, yeah. Huh. My golden ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, yeah we're ready, the people them ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready, yeah we're ready, we're ready. Whoa! Look at the people raising up, the whole Jamaica waking up. Get ready for go with gold, in the man with passion and of purpose. From Kingston straight to Bay, I'm a gold in them say. Get ready to make up a new way, yo. The entire Jamaica know, gold in the best and it's true. Ready for the road. Yeah man, time come. My gold in the best. Comrades, my brother, boy, Father, God, I made them fight. coward. I look it in, we put we trust on the Lord. Them want we forget in the mud right down. Me make you over, look at them get no reward. Me make them get no reward. Me make you over, look at them get no reward. You see them and I mash up the thing. I see them where Judas and his friends on the fight against the king. Read the songs and realize that nobody them. Come and try set we up who this squaddy them. Successful. DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo. Champion, 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 champion.
We are right where we need to be. Right where we need to be. We will continue with the presentation.
Thank you, people, Southwest St. Catherine. Thank you. I heard that my good friend Patrick is around. Patrick from Gutters. It's his birthday today. I want to big him up. Big up on your birthday, comrade. Valley, your birthday today. Big up yourself, Valley.
DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo, DJ Bravo. Champion, champion.
So, people of Southwest St. Catherine, what I've realized and what the people have complained of is that the road networks, they are left until they are in such a state of disrepair that you have to either replace the road, dig up the whole thing, pave it over, and this has been very costly for Southwest St. Catherine. There have been roads that have developed potholes, dangerous potholes along the major thoroughfare that have been left there for many months. These potholes are potholes, if you fall in them, you will pick up a punch at the same time. And I'm saying that we will ensure that we use the Constituency Development Fund to repair these dangerous potholes that develop along the major thoroughfares. And we will go through to ensure that the roads that we have fixed, they are maintained so they don't fall in a state of disrepair where we have to spend millions and millions of dollars to get them to back where they were before. The other thing, comrades, that I want to touch on is a thing that Natalie will discuss, and that the bridges within the constituency. If you look right now, we have two major bridges within the constituency which are down. One of them has been down for the last 2 years, and the other is approaching 1 year since it has been down. These bridges, if we had something in place to ensure that there was regular maintenance and inspection, then we would not end up in this position. People, bridge construction is expensive work, very expensive. And as you can see, as it is right now, the government is struggling to bring back these bridges to the people of Southwest St. Catherine. The lack of use of these bridges have cost the constituency millions of dollars really. If you live in Spring Village, you have to take one taxi to the bridge, then you take another taxi to the bridge, from across the bridge to the community. If you look at the alternative routes, these alternative routes are so bad that if you drive on these roads for a month, I can guarantee if you own a car and you drive on these roads, you will be changing front end parts probably every 6 months. And this has caused the community to suffer. If you look at Bushy Park, the alternative route is very bad also. And it costs a lot. It costs up to $1,000 a day to go back and forth. When it used to, as Natalie said, it used to cost $150. And I see the government giving away 20,000 grants to people. I'm telling you that $20,000 that they are giving a person who lives in Bushy Park, they will spend that out in fear in less than a month. And we need this to be fixed. We need our bridges to be inspected. We need our bridges to be repaired so we don't have the situation where we have 2 bridges going down at one time. You know, over the years, I've lived in Southwest St. Catherine. I have seen very little in the way in terms of government intervention when it comes to early childhood development, education, social services, sports, other aspects of education and recreation. Me personally, over the last 5 years, I have personally contributed to these endeavors. And of recent, I have donated my entire salary as councillor to the causes of education, entrepreneurship, youth development, and sports. When in government, I will expand these initiatives. I will ensure that all major communities have a functional early childhood education facility to increase accessibility to these facilities. I will lobby for the construction of another high school in Old Harbour. I have identified many high school students who go to school outside the constituency and cannot afford taxi fare more than twice a week. And if you're just going to school 2 times a week, it don't make any sense. You understand? And I applaud the People's National Party for bringing on this initiative where they will help students with their bus fare to go to school. A new high school will alleviate this financial burden on all these families. I'll work assiduously with the relevant state agencies to ensure our community centers are maintained and that at least 1 major mini stadium is built in each division. I will work with the sporting and football clubs to ensure we have a team coming from Southwest St. Catherine that will qualify for the National Premier League. Football is a big sport in Southwest St. Catherine. And of all the big footballers that we have never been able to qualify for the National Premier League. And I believe it's because government and the powers that be, the member of parliament is not interested in sports and recreation. I see where the youths are interested, and I will make it become my interest also. I believe that if we get National Premier League status, it will bring a lot of exposure to Southwest St. Catherine. It will boost commerce and entertainment and all the other spin-offs that being a part of the National Premier League brings. Another major issue, protection of our business and commercial centers is of paramount importance if we are to thrive as a constituency. Many lives and livelihoods depend on commerce. And Southwest St. Catherine, we have not been able to be as productive as we want to be because of the resurgence of shootings, murders, states of emergencies, and long-term curfews. Old Harbour Town was once known as the town that never sleeps, allowing many established businesses as well as marginalized entrepreneurs such as the Pan Chicken Man, the Peanut Man, the Cane Man, you name it, to earn a living throughout the day in Old Harbour Town. Old Harbour Town is now known as the town that goes to bed early. Goes to bed early. People of Southwest St. Catherine, we have to change that. And this has been due to the increase in policing activities in the town. And don't get me wrong, I like having the police around. The police are our friends. And we're not in no position to increase police activity. When I walk through Old Harbour Town and I see my local policeman who I know from the station going through the area, I feel safe. And I feel confident that nothing will happen. But what we are talking about here are government policies. And these policies have led to increased curfews in our business communities that has led to the downfall in businesses and entertainment in this constituency. We will propose novel ideas such as a dedicated entertainment zone in each division in the constituency. And these entertainment zones will be exempted from police permits and imposed curfews. This will reinvigorate our once thriving entertainment and commerce industries. We'll also use some of the constituency development fund on entertainment promoters in the form of special grants to help them to come back on their feet. We will engage the tourism product development, the TPDCO, and we'll engage them to formulate and sponsor a yearly restaurant week in Southwest St. Catherine to boost our many seafood and jerk food restaurants which we have here. These restaurants have suffered greatly throughout COVID and the prolonged curfews. Garbage and solid waste disposal is a cause of concern in Southwest St. Catherine and the entire Jamaica. We propose that we will engage the Jamaica Public Service so that that defunct plant there down in Old Harbour Bay can be retrofitted and be used as a solid waste fuel generator. And this will allow people who usually throw them garbage, people will start now go and deposit the garbage in the right place because the garbage will become valuable. This garbage will be used to generate electricity. We incorporate environmentally friendly technology to ensure that the hazardous gases and the soot is removed from the booms and that these power plants will not affect the environment adversely. People of Southwest St. Catherine, when you look at agriculture, Southwest St. Catherine is the home of the Bodles Agricultural Research Center. Yet this constituency has not been able to benefit from any tangible growth in farming. The role of the Bodles Research Center has to be expanded so that the local farming interests can benefit directly. We have some of the largest agri-parks in this country. When you look at places like Amity Hall, when you look at places in Thetford, these lands lie mostly idly. You understand? When I listened to the last statistics, it was only about 25% of these lands are being used by our farmers. We need to find a way to involve the expertise that we have here in Bodles, right? To encourage farming in Southwest St. Catherine. If the Bodles Research Center should come on board, Southwest St. Catherine could become one of the major producers of food within this country. And it would also bring the cost of local produce down. Most people I know, they always complain that Old Harbour market is the dearest market in the world. But it's because most of these vendors have to go to St. Elizabeth and Manchester and way up in the hill to get their produce. If they could get their produce right here in Southwest St. Catherine, then the cost of these foods would go right down because they wouldn't have to travel great distances and spend a lot of gas fare and gas money and bus fare to acquire their goods. People of Southwest St. Catherine, when I look at areas in the north, right, most of these people, they are farmers and they have large land spaces, they have backyard, they have front yard, but yet still when you look in these people's yard, all them planting is grass. You understand? I will encourage these people, I will foster a program whereby we will encourage these farmers to do backyard and front yard farming, whether it is that we help them develop their irrigation system, whether it's that we give them drip hose. We will do things like that. When I go to other areas within the country, people in these areas who are farmers, they do plant grass in them yard. You understand? So I am going to develop a system where we can get these people to use up their land in a way. And when we bring water to Old Harbour North, then the people of Old Harbour North will be able to recognize this dream. People of Southwest St. Catherine, when you look at planters and Colbeck, I don't know where the Rasta man was there a while ago. Him gone? But when you look, these areas were major cultivators of marijuana in this country. When you look at planters and Colbeck, these areas have been destroyed by the war on ganja production. But yet still, the government has moved to legalize ganja, and we don't see where the people of Colbeck and planters are benefiting from this. I will investigate what is going on here and will ensure that these original farmers benefit from these ganja licenses and that they'll be able to go and do the trade that they are used to and that they were successful at before. People of Southwest St. Catherine, you know, I believe that when we have addressed all these issues within our constituency, then one of our major fears will go down. If you look at crime, crime is one of the issues here in Southwest St. Catherine that we fear. We always fear that crime will go up, and because the crime goes up, then we will lose our freedoms. You understand? If we fix these social issues, then the crime will go down. And we'll be able to enjoy our town. We'll be able to be successful and do business without any form of interference. There are many other issues that I could discuss today in terms of youth training, youth employment, tourism, access to housing and land titles. All of these are of great concern within the constituency. But if the question is brought forward, then we can discuss it. But for now, and in the interest of time, we will cut the presentation and allow the people to speak. So people of Southwest St. Catherine, I think the time has come for fresh blood, fresh ideas to lead this beautiful constituency into the future. I thank you all.
One bag of gold medal pan me no. Champion boy, you know the damn thing. Pan up for them and sing the anthem. Man, man, shell up the goddamn boy. That's why everybody at the champion boy.
Hello.
DJ Bravo. DJ Bravo. Champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows it, Bravo, a champion, 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 champion.
Listen now. We are at a stage of this meeting where it is left up to those who have given us their time to listen, both on the YouTube and in the audience. We have a couple of minutes left, and we will use those minutes to field questions from the audience. For those of you who have your questions, you will indicate by show of hand. I will recognize you, and you can say who you are and ask your questions. If you have some questions, you can make yourself available right along the corridor and come up and ask a question. Now remember, we're not asking for statements. We want questions. So keep your comments. Just give us the questions. Come forward.
Good night, comrades. I want to ask if and when we form the next government, if we can get back some all-age schools. Because children are living in primary high school and most of them cannot read. So if we have all-age school, they could left from grade 6 go to all-age to get a higher level before they reach to high school.
Very well, very good question. Very good question about all-age school. Any other question? No, line them up.
Good evening. I would like to ask my future MP for Southwest St. Catherine, how will you address the water crisis facing the community in North when you becomes the MP for Southwest St. Catherine.
Thank you very much. I'll take one more question, then I'll let the MP, the future MP, answer. We'll take 3 first. He'll answer them, and we'll move along those lines. One more question to make 3. Any more? Any more question? Seems like we're well learned. Come.
All right, you want me to pose the ones online?
You have question? Yes, pose a question. No, give us one from online to make up the 3.
All right, let me ask one of them. People of Southwest St. Catherine. So those are 2 good questions. In terms of addressing the issue with the all-age schools. You know, I grew up in this constituency, and I'm not so young.
Members. We have been quite disciplined. We have been well behaved. We have been quite disciplined. So let us keep it that way and hold that line. Thank you.
And I have been going to school since I was 2 years old, right? So in my time, everyone went to school at 2 years old. And that's what we now are dubbing early childhood education. That was the norm in my time. I am surprised now to see, after so many years, everybody's touting this early childhood education. Back then it was cheap, it was easily accessible because we had early childhood education institutions in all the communities, really. And what we, the PMP, are proposing is that we will ensure that the early childhood institutions get the support that they deserve. And I think that if we enhance the early childhood education system, then you will have a requirement, you will have basically less people not being able to matriculate from primary school to high school. Because the major problem with these students is that they had a very poor start. And we'll ensure that these students get a better start. If you look at what's happening now, you have early childhood educational facilities being scattered all over the constituency. Some parents have to pay a taxi to pick up their toddlers to bring them to school and take them back. That is very expensive. So we'll engage the churches within the communities, and we'll try and get them certified and try to get them all the things that they need to become learning facilities within the communities. And I think if we can do that, then, you know, we probably won't need all-age schools. But I see where you're coming from, and I think it's important, but I think that's the major solution. That's the major solution. In terms of the water issue, as we know, the people from Old Harbour North and even other people in the constituency have suffered from no water to water shortages for more than 20 years, right? And I'm saying that, you know, I can't see where any effort at all was put in. I've never heard the member of parliament suggest anything to improve the water supply to these communities, right? And I'm saying that I am willing to look into it, right? I am willing to start the discussion here. And I think that if we start discussing it, we have identified several rivers within the Old Harbour North. Matter of fact, in the past, there was a large reservoir up there which was fed by the Red Cap River. And that facility was allowed to go into a state of disrepair to the point now where it would be easier to build a new one rather than to repair it. So all these things, the people in Old Harbour North, you know, they don't want free water, you know. These people pay for water every month, and they pay more than the average Jamaican for that water, because each drum of water costs between $4,000 to $6,000, and most of them have to buy twice, which amounts to around $12,000 per month. You understand? So these people, they're not wanting to benefit free of the system. We're saying build a water system for these people, provide them with the water, give them the water meter, and let them pay for what they have used. That's all I'm saying. And we identify the source of the water. We just need to engage the Water Commission. And as I'm saying, I will put a secretary in my office that all that secretary has to do is to ensure that she call and follow up with everybody. Because water problem is a big, big source of distress to the people of Southwest St. Catherine. And I will make that my number one priority for the people of Southwest St. Catherine.
Whoa, 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 sailing, sailing. Say when I'm ready, you must hold on steady. We're moving off at lightning speed. Yeah.
Take a few questions from online sources. A few questions from online sources. So, Comrade Lawson, you will speak and the Member of Parliament will respond.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, one of the online questions. How will the sporting talents or teams within the constituency benefit from your leadership as MP? As it is right now, I contribute to all the major sporting football clubs in Southwest St. Catherine. And I must say that they are not doing too bad right now. 3 of them are now in the major league, and that is one step below the National Premier League. I provide a small stipend to them every week to ensure that they can help with their transportation, help with their meals, and all of that, because I recognize the importance of sports and recreation in Southwest St. Catherine. When I become Member of Parliament, I will engage the Sporting Development Foundation. I will help these leagues to formulate their business plan in terms of getting sponsors. And when we build these mini stadiums, we'll allow these football teams to get a revenue from collecting at the gate for people who want to come and enjoy the sports. As it is right now, all our sporting facilities are just left open, right? I don't mind the people enjoying the sports for free, but if we want to see football go somewhere in Southwest St. Catherine, then we have to develop the sports. We have to give these teams the facilities that they can use to develop their craft and to encourage the players to continue playing football and to become good football players.
My question to you is, I'm all about the youths. So I'm asking the question, what are your plans for the youths? There are a lot of youths. It's not that they don't have subjects or anything, but when you carry a resume and all of that, 5 years experience when you just left from school. So I'm asking what the plans that you have for the youths.
Yes, as I mentioned in my presentation, we are currently working out the kinks to develop an employment network through my networking and, people who are concerned about what's happening in Southwest St. Catherine to allow youths to benefit from employment both locally and internationally. And as I've said before, once upon a time we had the soya bean and the cotton polyester factories. Now we don't have them anymore. The biggest thing right now is the BPO sector. And I'm saying as the largest, one of the largest, probably the 3rd largest constituency in Jamaica, we should be able to easily encourage a BPO sector to come here. Because we have more unemployment in Southwest St. Catherine than the rest of the population of Jamaica. And we have a large population. So these BPO sectors, when they come here, they would be able to get all the people they need to be employed and to get their operations going, right? What I've also noticed that, yes, the government has cut the tuition to the art programs, but sometimes these programs, they don't go into the communities and encourage the youths to be a part of it. And I'm saying that as a part of my office, I will get a social worker to go through, to scour through the communities to ensure that every youth within a certain age group, say 12 to 25, these youths, you have to be in school or you have to be engaged in some form of training. As a country, we are going backwards, really. I remember when I was a young man growing up in this community, and said my mother sent me to shop. I couldn't walk on the road, I had to walk through the bush. Because there was a time that, as a young person walking up and down the road, somebody would come and scoop you up and try to find out what is going on with you. Why aren't you in school? Where are your parents? We don't have that anymore. You understand? You know, and I believe, I don't want to say I'm a socialist at hand, but a lot of people get afraid when you say that word. But I think that our social services have decayed to the point where we're not our brother's keeper anymore. We don't care about our children. We don't care about our elderly. And we have to get back to those roots if, as a country, we are to thrive.
Just to add to what Dr. Kurt Wall said as it relates to employment. Notice that the young lady asked about lack of opportunity for young people and young people not getting the desired job because of inexperience. But as an employer myself, what I find is that there's a young people having challenge with resume writing and lack of the proper ability to do an interview. So oftentimes it's not the problem of getting the job, but it's the problem of doing the interview, sell themselves. So this is something that we have discussed with Kurt Wall. We will have a hub in the community where on an annual basis we have training, development programs for young people. So when you go to that interview, you know how to dress to go to the interview. Just recently I did an interview at my business place. The young lady wore flip-flop, t-shirt and cut off with jeans. That will not get that person through the door to get a job. So we realize that there's a deficiency right now amongst young people. So what do? We have to assist with developing them, and we will be developing them through training, resume writing, interview skill sets to assist those young people in getting the job. All right?
So I'm going to take 2 questions online and then I'll come back to the floor.
All right, I do understand regarding the 5-year experience, and it's an international thing. When I started Scotiabank, they asked for 5-year experience. also. So we won't get away from that. So through even the developmental program that we'll be training young people to understand and teaching them is, how do you get your foot in? So sometimes within an organization, it's just to get a toe in, a practical nurse position. But how do you might not be able to get it because of the 5 years. But what if you do an internship? So you can prove yourself to the doctor that, hey, I am capable. Sometimes it's easy to volunteer your time as a young person to say, here what, I would want a job at Scotia, at, let's say, Benson's Pharmacy. Internship, volunteerism. The spirit of volunteerism has died. And rather than a young person sit home and TikTok, you can volunteer your time and say, here what, I write a resume to an organization, Dr. Kirkwall, in saying that I want to volunteer 3 months to get experience. There's no business in Old Harbour or in Jamaica that will turn you down. So when you, with that pretty resume, get into the organization, you then prove yourself to a Kaluga, to anywhere, that I am capable. And what I have found is that on many occasions, when you start, the employer gives you a stipend. Most employers are not so wicked. So it's how do you get that foot in rather than focus on the barriers ahead, which is something that we have to educate our young people on. How do you get that opportunity? Because the opportunity is there, but what I find case is that they don't know how to tap into opportunity.
Okay, we're going to take a question from the floor. Let us see if comment.
Yeah. Yes. My question is that we are the largest factory in the Caribbean, idle in Old Harbour. And it has been there idle for over 7 to 8 years now. It was a factory which employed over 1,500 workers. What can you do when you become the next member of parliament to assist in getting that factory open so it can employ those workers?
You're talking about the cotton polyester? As I mentioned in my presentation, many of these factories, they closed down as a result of, shifting market forces. We not being able to produce whatever the cotton polyester factory did at a competitive cost. You understand? But what we have now realized that there are other sectors, such as the business processing outsourcing sectors, which employ a lot of young people, right? But the fact of the matter is that many of our young people here, they are employed to this sector, but they have to travel great distances to go to work. And it becomes a burden on them really, because these companies, they operate right through the day. Some of them have to get up 2 o'clock in the morning and do a shift from 2 back until daylight. And we're saying we are one of the largest constituency. Why is it that no one is lobbying for one of the major players in the BPO sector to come and set up shop in Southwest St. Catherine? And we are saying that there is even right now in Marley-Mount, there's a BPO sector that wants to set up shop on the whole Jehovah's Witness site, and they are being victimized by bureaucratic red tape. And when I become member of parliament, I will look into this and to ensure that we encourage the BPO sector and other sectors. If we open up Old Harbour town, and allow the town to become less congested and grow the town, expand the town into those idle lands, you would be surprised to see the amount of businesses and jobs that are created locally here. Majority of the people, they jump on the highway and they go to Portmore, they go to Maypen, they go to Spanish Town, and then they jump back on the highway and come back home. And because of that, we are suffering. You understand? We're suffering because of that.
Thank you very much.
Another question.
You have a follow-up question?
Yeah. As you mentioned about idle lands, we have a whole lot of idle lands in and around Old Harbour. It was mentioned earlier on in our PMP administration, and Mr. Jamaica Boilers was approached to get these lands right in front of here to make an hospital. If you notice, Maypen have a hospital, Spanish Town have a hospital. If somebody sits at Barton's, Red Gum, any one of them places, them have a real go, either go Spanish Town or Maypen. And we have the lands here where we can make a hospital.
All right. What Comrade Gouvin is saying is that we need to push to get an hospital in Southwest St. Catherine. I will now allow the Member of Parliament to quickly respond to that.
Okay.
You know, I've always been surprised by the lack of development in Southwest St. Catherine, given the fact that we have such a large population. If you look at many of our students here, we have to travel down to central Clarendon to go to high school. And I don't think that constituency is as large as Southwest St. Catherine. So, you know, there are a lot of things that we should have here, but because we don't have the leaders, right, who push for these things, then we won't ever get them, you understand? We're basically left on the back burner when it comes to everything. No one would ever believe that a modern society like in the middle of Southwest St. Catherine here, more than 25% of the population would be complaining about water, such a basic commodity. So there are a lot of things that needs developing here. Yes, an hospital would be great. Majority of our citizens have to travel to Maypen and to Spanish Town. And I've never, believe me, I've met very few people who have gone to the hospital and have anything positive to say. You understand that the waiting times are so long, and they have to travel back and forth to deliver things to their family members, and it's a burden. You know, when you have someone in the hospital who is there for a month, and you have to be traveling back and forth, the taxi fare, the gas money, all of that adds up. So that is something that if I become Member of Parliament, I will definitely look into. When I speak it into being,
All right, good night, everyone. So I just wanted to add a few cents to the BPO sector that Dr. Wall constantly mentions. Now, if a lot of you remember, in COVID, when we had COVID and the breakout happened in the BPO sector, Old Harbour and Linstead had the highest number of employees in the BPO sector. Now, a lot of us are not understanding how critical a BPO sector would be for Old Harbour. If we could get a BPO sector in Southwest St. Catherine, where all those persons who have to pay fare to go that far and that wide to seek employment, it would save them a lot. Some of them would be walking to their jobs. Some of them would have more time to go to PTAs and spend more time with their kids. Family lives would be better. So I want us to open our eyes and minds and realize that having a BPO sector in Southwest St. Catherine would not just only give us a large number of employed citizens, especially young persons. Youth lives would be better. We would have to employ securities for that particular facility, cooks. The employment rate would skyrocket and family lives would be saved 1,000,000 times. Thank you.
God is the greatest. No, I know. Count your blessings, yeah. Well, today is a new day. Give thanks to life. All praises to the Lord, me see if I'm sanctified. Now make them stress me. Me a whole of.
I just want to add also to what Brian Layton mentioned. So I'm going to speak from a business perspective. Just imagine, visualize it, envision it. If we can get a BPO, a BPO sector in Old Harbour that provide at least 1,000 jobs. Imagine the spin-offs that will have on the entire business community. As the Scotiabank closed down 2 years ago, because Scotiabank were saying that they are not profitable, they are not getting enough loans. It's merely people coming in there to cash check. So they didn't see it profitable. So people see Scotiabank closed down and saying, why? It's because the residents that live here are banking and taking loans and investing in Kingston and other places. Now NCB even downsized because their profitability is low. So imagine 1,000 persons being employed within Old Harbour. The jerk man don't make money, my business don't make money, the Chinese man don't make money. Just one intervention of business. And then you're going to see other businesses now being attracted to Old Harbour because Old Harbour boom. What we misunderstand is we're looking at the housing boom and thinking that it is also economic boom. We have not been having any form of economic boom in Old Harbour since cotton polyester and those companies locked down. Everything has gone flat. People live here, but they work in Kingston. They spend most of their money in Kingston, which is what we want to fix by getting one sector such as BPO and many spin-offs will have. Thank you very much.
Today's a new day. To the Lord, me see if I'm sanctified. Now make them stress me.
Don't do that, I make him ask.
With Red Boom teacher. And the Lord in blessings around us. May not care who like me. Make us go and show love. And the Lord is around us. In blessings around us. May not care who like me. Make us go and show love. Come far. What a journey. Good thing God got me. See it at your feet.
All right, so we're closing off now. So I just asked two more questions from online. And basically, Dr. Wall spoke on them in a sense, but I guess it doesn't hurt to enforce it. What are the plans to improve the Old Harbour Bay fishing village when you become MP? That is one. And Southwest has a lot of farmers and farming areas. How do you plan to assist farmers when you become MP?
Yeah, thank you very much for those questions. In terms of the fishing village in the Old Harbour Bay, that fishing village, as we all know, is the largest fishing village, has been dubbed as the largest fishing village in the Caribbean. Yet still, the bulk of operations and the bulk of the work that is needed to be done down there is left on the municipal corporation. Since I've been councillor, and I try to work with everybody, you know. Since I've been councillor for that community, I've never ever been contacted by the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture I've never been ever contacted by the member of parliament in regards to what goes on down there. And how is it that the Ministry of Fishery and Agriculture can help, or how the member of parliament can help to make this facility a better place. I've never ever been assisted by these people. And I'm saying, when I'm a member of parliament, given that this fishing village is so important to the lifeblood of Whole Harbour South and to Southwest St. Catherine, I will ensure that the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture give the Whole Harbour Bay fishing village the attention it deserves. I see them doing projects in areas where when you go to those places, I see them doing projects in Discovery Bay where their fishing village is not bigger than from here to there, right? And I see them making major investments in those fishing villages when they have never ever done anything for the fishing village in Southwest St. Catherine. We just had the hurricane in Southwest St. Catherine, and the fund from the Sanders Fund was giving out mesh and wires to fishermen. And not one, can you imagine that we in Whole Harbour South did not benefit from one of those bales of wire? Or is it that you are giving funding to people who are affected in the hurricane and the Whole Harbour Bay fishing village don't register? In terms of the farming, as I've said before, imagine we house the Bodles Research Center here in Southwest St. Catherine. Yet still the people, that is a travesty really. It's a travesty. Southwest St. Catherine should be one of the major producers of food within the country. People should be coming here to buy our products and then go somewhere else, go sell them for astronomical prices. Our people go to far and wide, go buy products and then come back here and sell our citizens these products at astronomical prices. We're suffering. The Bodles Research Center then need to be re-engaged to benefit the people of Southwest St. Catherine. And that's all I have to say about that. And I will ensure, when I am the member of parliament, I will ensure that the Ministry of Agriculture goes down there and find out what is happening and to allow this important facility to benefit the people of Southwest St. Catherine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, members. Thank you very much, sponsors. There is a time when we say time come. We have been here from 4 o'clock. We were supposed to stop at about 6. You have been quite spirited. You have said what you have to say, and you are in good standing. Your behavior has been up to par. So, the boss? Who?
It a tape, PMP in a rape. Listen me now, World Doc. No one find out of your mouth as a winning councillor for Whole Harbour Bay, as a person who are going to represent PMP, as a MP, or a future MP for Whole Harbour. A man over side, they say, taxpayer money, no PMP winning councillor cannot spend his money, which is taxpayer money. So you see, me as a street youth in this street, me want to hear from your mouth. If from your win as a councillor, if you have gotten any support from that guy across over that side.
People of Southwest St. Catherine, that's a very important question. And I must say that it has been a constant struggle since I became the councillor for the Whole Harbour South Division. And everything the member said that he would have done to me, he has been doing it. Right? But you know, I hear some born and grow, and nobody can bully me down here, so. And whatever I have done, I will get it done. Right? But suffice to say, the member of parliament is not working with me as I intended him to work with me. And because of that, the whole Harbour South division is suffering. And I just want to give you a very quick example. About $200 million has been dedicated through the Spark and the REACH programs. And if anybody, any unbiased, fair person in the world would say, all right, we have $200 million and we have 4 divisions. The money should be split 4 ways. Wrong or right? 50 million apiece. This gentleman, Clifford, I see him release him list of roads, and not one of these roads is from the whole Harbour South division. So because I'm not afraid of nobody still, me call him. Me call him. Me call him and me say, what happened to whole Harbour South Road? How come you keep a consultation and you never invite me? The face man replies, say, why? Me should hear consultation on the radio. I say, no, it can't work, so. Your council him get invited. How come I never get invited? Anyway, I wait. Him still never declare any roads for whole Harbour South. So I go to him office and ask him, just to look in him eye and see what him really I say. I'm looking at him eye, and I say, no roads for whole Harbour South. Him say, no. When I say, look here, me not go stop fight you then, if you don't want to work with me. And I'm telling you that it don't done it. Because the money we ain't getting no start spending yet, so the money still there. So we're not going to stop fight till the money. And I'm not in opposition to any other roads in Southwest St. Catherine benefiting from this $200 million. But only 4 roads in list. When I see other member of parliaments listing 10 roads. So how come you only going to fix 4? Where you going to do with the rest of the money? And that is what I want to know. And I am committing, when I become member of parliament, I will inherit 3 labor right councillors. And I'm telling the people of Southwest St. Catherine that I will be willing to work with these councillors so that the people of Southwest St. Catherine can get maximum benefit out of their tax dollars. That is my commitment to
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and nice to the my grounds. They will never ever take my crown. Who damn this I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for the search. They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so sad he does a rob.
Members of the audience. Let me tell you something. There comes a time when a cup runs over. There comes a time when you have to rise to the occasion. Even the Bible, when Jesus went into the temple and saw what they were doing, and take a whip and beat them out. What we are saying, we know what is in front of us. We must go out there and confront it, corner it, back it up, so that on the next election, we know that we will have a new member of parliament. That's simple.
Here I come again, Jaja. Before your presence be singing. Lord, watch over our shoulders tonight and help us live our words tomorrow. Let's not forget where we're from, Father, show us the way to go. He said I must love and feed my enemies, and I'm gonna do it.
Hold it down, hold it down, hold it down. Now, the program has come to that point where we must say thanks to all of who found it important to attend. We want to thank the school for providing us with the plant to do the work. We want to thank all the sponsors and promoters. We want to thank the multiple Right. There is an injunction here. The injunction is school opens tomorrow. And we need to make sure that the place is clean so that when we want it again, we don't get a fight. So we have to keep it clean. Now the thing is, normally, I am now hearing that the meeting has converted. The meeting has converted at the close. And therefore I have permission for us to sing one stanza of the trumpet to bring the meeting to an end. Wait. Come now. Quiet. The trumpet has sounded, my countrymen all. Awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? My birth I pledge to be loyal and faithful, true to thee. Though the toil may be heavy and the campaign long, the road may be dreary, the barrier strong, or progress may falter and energies wane, but steadfast in spirit our goals we will gain. Land of my birth, to be loyal and faithful, true to thee. In choice past assurance that God will look down and give us his blessings or efforts to crown. Let us all be united to build by his grace a nobler Jamaica, loftier race. Land of my birth I pledge.
Comrades, please, I'm asking you just to join a line, please, because if you bundle up, it's going to create chaos down there. Just join a line for me, please. Enough. Comrades, please, I'm asking you just join a line. Remember.
My father